Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Croatia, this ongoing series here on the Lord Master channel. Yeah, EU for Croatia, and as you can see, Croatia has expanded considerably into Bosnia, but now only Herzegovina remains, which I am giving myself at least about a year or two before we declare that war against Herzegovina. But you know, Serbia will back them up as they are allied with Herzegovina. And then given a recent thought about, well, what is the real future plan for Croatia? It's like, yeah, you gain Bosnia, but what else do you have on the mission line on that agenda? Tell you what, so it's still in still in the prime of this man's life. I mean, obviously, you want to reconquer Dalmatia, so, and the Ottomans do border with Venice through Albania, the Albanian region. So I thought that would be quite useful to fight off against Venice, to retake the Dalmatian coast, and possibly Istria too, because we know that the Republic of Croatia, as we know it today, Istria is part of Croatia. But Istria then was part of the state of Carniola. But I don't know. Oh, what else? I'm trying to think. And yeah, you still have that truce with Serbia. But please remember, when we declare against them, the Ottomans will not join because we still have trust issues. Well, not really. There's another way to get them in a war. So we need at least... Oh, excuse me. Need to ask to prepare for war. Which will be using favors, so it'll be 10 favors. Which we have 37 currently for the Ottomans. It's not just trust, but to tell them, hey, get ready for war. And they'll be more than eager to join our war, which, again, in about a year or two. Declare against Herzegovina, which will take that easily. Use the Ottomans to weaken Serbia a bit. But in actuality, here's what my plan is. It's like, after we defeat Serbia, I'm not going to give the Ottomans any territory regarding Serbia. Even though I have no claims to any Serbian territories. Yet. But one day we may expand into whatever is left of Serbia. And of course they don't have any of our core provinces unless I made it so, in case they were to take those. Even though, yes, these two areas are now one of the core provinces. Sure, I'll never get that sweet gold, that Kosovo gold, but still. Taking the areas, even though the vast majority of them are Orthodox and of a similar culture, South Slavic. So that's my idea. It's just expanding to the areas that would just... It'd almost be like Yugoslavia in a way, except if you wanted to be like that, you gotta have that second idea, which would likely be humanist. Who knows? So, I mean, I'm kind of divided on what that second idea would be. I know it's a long way, but it would be either humanist or administrative. That's from recent lessons learned while I was doing the Delhi series, the Delian series, and especially when we, oh, much later on. And plus there's these Bosnian separatists we have to deal with sooner than later. And plus, still on the back of my mind, I would love to join the HRE, which I'll only join the HRE but Austria says, we'll let you in, but we want you to break the alliance with the Ottomans. I mean, it says so. And also the fact that aggressive expansion doesn't help their case either, because no more we grow, the maximum opinion that is needed increases bit by bit. And here's the thing about Herzegovina. At least it has slightly better development than Bosnia. Another reason why that territory is a bit desirable. And no indication of any of the Ottoman armies that want to march towards somewhere. Possibly Epirus. Which Epirus is allied with Ragusa, interestingly enough. So they can't touch that, because Ragusa is guaranteed by the Ottomans. And whenever their relationship ends, this would be a great time for me to take that, as Ragusa is where, you know, the center of trade is, the trade node of Ragusa itself. And since, let me see, the Ragusa trade node power. We only have 7% of the trade power, but why don't we collect trade? They say we're under, whereas we get little out of Constantinople. Actually, no, that's trade power to Ragusa. Well, get the one from Pest over here. There, 4 days. Because we need to start making a little more money through trade. Because the more we expand, you know, it's going to take a while for the upkeep of everything that we're trying to be. Had a devastation over Visoki. Didn't help either, because we just kept changing back and forth. And one day, let me see the terrain. What is it exactly? Hills. Mountains. Oh, it's mountains here too. Mountains there, hills there. I mean, all these potential places to build forts. Like Zagreb is because our capital. Belgrade is good because it's on hills. I was thinking about building a fortress in future in Visoki, right in the middle of Bosnia. But it seems Herzegovina seems more defendable rather than Visoki. Not sure regarding, you know, the influence of the vote, zone of influence of the nearby fortresses. So that's just my idea, my plan. And we only make a modest income. I would love to lower the army maintenance, but gotta keep ourselves on our toes because of potential Bosnian separatists. Till 1477. If we can get up at least 200, I'll be most willing to build that church. Well, let's get going. I'm giving myself a year or two before we go to war against Herzegovina and Serbia, which we're going to bring the Ottomans over here just to beat up Serbia a bit, but I'm not going to let them have any territorial gains. I'll have territorial gains over Herzegovina. And you know what? Since I've mentioned that I would expand into Serbia one day, well, let's make that case. There are rivals, so we'll try to fabricate claims like, you know, places like here, 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 and even here. Which, you know, Montenegro, could be a thing as... Who knows? Well, meanwhile, Hungary's getting... Well, Ragusa's no longer guaranteed because they joined up with Epirus. Yeah, but the problem is that we're trying to build a spy network. But hey, it means more favors. More favors means more trust between the Ottomans and us. But This shouldn't take long. Stop currying favors with Poland for a bit. Yeah, we'll join, but I doubt we're going to contribute to any. But hey, take Ragusa. Don't want a separate piece out, but if we occupy it and don't let the Ottomans have it, good. That means I have to ask Herzegovina for access. So, yeah. We're coming. Their forces are weak, but they have a navy which will be blockaded, no doubt, unless they go that way, or the Ottoman navy defeats them. 2, 1. Hey! Give us access. We're coming down to Ragusa. There they are. If I had the ability to do a separate peace, if this was my war, what I would do is transfer the trade power to Croatia, then we make more fortunes. Their army's defeated, they got nowhere to run. The Holy Roman Emperors decided to go with the reform, call for a Reichsreform. Reform the empire to a more centralized model. Local construction and development costs are reduced, and gives Casvali on non-members holding imperial territory. Don't look at me. There's Upright Navy. Those are the transport fleet. Ramazan. And I didn't know Genoa, Saluzzo, and Theodoro got involved. Akkolaniulu, Crimea. Okay, this is a larger conflict than anticipated. Wish I could invest in the Navy, but we don't have an admiral, and we only have 3 ships that would be a fighting ship, but most of it is transport. We have no means to do that sort of thing. Just hope for some good luck. Scandal at the court. A scandal has erupted in the royal court. A recent visitor to court has publicly accused Krai Krishna of all manners of outrages, all of which he denies. While the nobility are generally perplexed at the situation, the rampant speculations as to if there's any truth to these allegations, making it hard to get anything done. Ah, damn it. Bribe an advisor and take the blame. That's bad. Don't want to lose stability. And this is delayed for about a month because of the said corruption. Now we have to root out the said corruption. And being blockaded doesn't help either. Going through Serbia. Where y'all going? To Genoa? Because you are blockading them now. Alright. generals in charge, just two fleets duking it out. Ragusa has embraced the Renaissance. Here's the very important one, military drill. That's morale armies up at 15. That will be a difference maker when it comes to fighting in battles and such. Now don't spend it anymore. From now on you're saving the military tech to get this. Because we really like to replace the Eastern medieval infantry with Eastern militia. Need a new type. So it's a much wider conflict. How did you know I'll get involved in all this? Were you guaranteeing allied? Look at Empress. Oh, trade league. They're part of a trade league. A brilliant Austrian inventor from Austria has come to seek our patronage after falling out with the Empire. Bruno Kulin has been described by some as one of the great minds of this age, producing many mechanical and chemical inventions beyond the understanding of most others. We would not risk the anger of Austria. Hey, it's enough to join the HRE. We get what we want. But please remember, when you expand, Austria is going to be telling us to return unlawful territory. Well, we have to compromise this, so turn Bosnia into a state, knowing that Herzegovina will be ours one day. Costs us a bit of maintenance, but will increase our income by half when autonomy is reduced to lower levels. It's not good right now, but now it's more permanent. Again, this is what I really, really wanted. Join the HRE. So, no doubt. So to be exact, yeah, you barely reached the criteria. And plus, you are in no position to negotiate a separate peace with anyone. But if I had my druthers, think about that. Ragusa. Now, should I really join the HRE or just tell them screw them? The Ottoman is my best friend. Think of the benefits. I mean, the only flaw about joining the HRE is that Croatia will no longer be a kingdom. It'll be downgraded to a duchy rank. Which means leaves me little room for moving diplomats all around. And with the HRE, as a member of the HRE, that means when the Ottomans attack us, then that means if they attack us, Croatia, you've attacked the whole empire. So some, not all, and Austria and their allies will join up and we'll beat them up together, drive them out. So again, that's yearly for improving relations. Which will go back to improve relations with them one day. And plus, we're about to get more favors with the Ottomans, so once the war's over. Would love to have a royal marriage with you. Just wanted to see what little we can. We're just gonna buy time. Oh, finally. Renaissance has come to Rijeka. We can embrace it now, but even though I might take a loan. But remember, reduction, very good, and current technology cost penalty, it will be reduced greatly. Let's embrace it, screw it. We're not at 0 ducats, so don't pick up a loan yet. And since there's no enemy forces in our area yet, what does Genoa have? As far as, access is concerned. Through Austria and Venice. You son of a... What about Milan? Not Milan. Which in fact Milan is their enemy. Is an enemy of Genoa. And rival too. So they probably wouldn't let them in. Would they? Actually, yes. That means their army is going to be marching through here. I was thinking about mothballing the forts, but... Nah. Once we take Ragusa, prepare to defend the homeland. Guess that's why they're moving that way. And plus we gotta deal with the Bosnian separatists. After we're done with Ragusa. Just wanted to keep it up there so we can join at any time. Even though we would lose a diplomat. How much is it to fabricate a claim? We can now. It's 20. Start with Kolubara because it's right next door. Smerdjevo would be a good one to have, as it has a fort, which there's no need for that. That's what Belgrade is for. So you start with Kolubara, just in case. And you've got plenty of time to do that. If we get up 20 again, fabricated claim Rashka. Just they need the bordering regions. Alright, we've taken Ragusa. Withdrawal. Back to Visoki. We're gonna have a rebellion in our hands. Alright, Ragusa pieced out. But again, we didn't have any territorial claims, so no reason to. So... pay 10% of their income, reparations. We got 5 ducats. No aggressive expansion penalty, and we get a bit of prestige. Yeah, that ends my part of the war. Now we got separatists to deal with. My part of the war is over. So now it's of the utmost importance that we deal with the Bosnian separatists. And once we're done with them, Herzegovina is next. And then take Ragusa, since it's open season. But you can't fabricate a claim as we are not neighbors. Not yet. Again, look at the development. It's better than some of that. Comparatively. Yeah, it was at war. And you'll be willing to ally with us, yeah, that's one thing. What, vassalage? Yeah, they wouldn't give up their independence. Because they're a republic, that's one thing. And they're economically richer than us. Naturally. But I still aspire to take Herzegovina and then Ragusa so we can get ahead of time. Which of course Ragusa would become known as Dubrovnik under Croatian control. Again, we're happy to give the Ottomans favors, but we have to come back and recover, deal with these separatists, effect, suppress them. Just slow them down a little, delay it, so we'll have enough manpower to take care of Herzegovina and Serbia. They have the manpower. Way more manpower. That's from the spoils of war. And we're still trying to root out the corruption. Which will take a few years. Cephalonia is about to fall. %90 for the rebel faction. And we'll deal with these Bosnians. Aha. Son of a... They beat us to it. They saw the opportunity. A trade dispute. They say conquest. It said conquest. They wanted Ragusa before we did. Okay. Now we know how we're gonna deal with Venice. It's like, take Herzegovina, you know, whip it of Serbia a bit, and then subsequently bring the Ottomans to... bring it to bear against Venice. Take the whole damn coast for us. That's what they were waiting for. And they're defenseless. They're powerless. It would be too risky to try to help out because they got a large army and they can maintain it. So Ragusa is pretty much a goner. Good job. Took Theodoro, so I don't know if they can. No, they cannot negotiate. They'll have to ask Epirus, which will likely result in the loss of the territory. Theodoro's out. Okay, that's the Ottomans that do negotiate, not us, Croatia. There we go. Take a river crossing penalty. Oh, that's a terrible general. Only one shock. Of course, we have plenty of experience behind that. They'll be dealt with somewhat easily, I hope. Even though it'll be on hills. But we have that plus 15 morale, which we can last longer in a fight. But unfortunately, that costs many men their lives dealing with this. But undeterred, I am determined to take Herzegovina. As we've mentioned before, Venice always wanted Ragusa, and they will get it. Aristocrats don't want to serve. Our aristocrats have become reluctant to serve in an army since we are focusing on defense tactics. They are concerned about the lack of opportunities for glory while we're cowering behind fortifications. They just don't understand. Don't know how much of Hungary will remain. In the meantime, start drilling. No enemy forces are nearby. Popular religion. There's always been some discrepancy between the religion actually taught and defended by the clergy and the actual faith of the people in the provinces. Most of the time the differences are small enough that the clergy chooses to ignore them instead of focus on reinforce the more orthodox spiritual ideas of the people. It seems, however, that certain ideas are quite unorthodox, if rooted in old traditions, and have begun to spread together with the Catholic faith among our non-Catholic subjects, resulting in a mix of old heathen ideas, popular superstitions, and the actual Catholic itself. Those are quite too much for the clergy to stomach, and even if it made some conversion a much more attractive proposition for our heathen subjects. Attempt to root out this syncretism. A little more influence would help with that. Fabric. Oh, you already have one claim, so okay, it'll be a little more. Sure. You know, on a war against Venice, you would need a lot more allies. Just try to ally with whoever's an enemy to Venice, like Florence, for example. Or even Aragon. They could be reasoned with. Bringing Aragon into the fight against Venice. Well, that requires, yes, alliance and all that, but also you gotta get the favors up to join in such a conflict. Naples is actually an independent nation. I don't know, but these guys are trouble. mothball the forts. Gotta... And no enemies coming. And what little left, try to root out the corruption, then we're good. Taking Herzegovina will be easy and get all the money from it. And then after that, then no doubt the Ottomans can beat Venice, but get the whole coast would be very, very beneficial. All that, forgot about Serbia. Rashka. Again, these claims are for just in case. Cities demand old rights. As we look to centralize the state, we inevitably infringe on the autonomy of the urban dwellers, who always exist under a different code of rules than their rural brethren. The cities actively resist pressure to be brought under more uniform rules and regulations, and demand that their old rights be respected. Now, Herzegovina wants Ragusa, even though Venice has already beat them by a bunch. But Serbia ain't joining that one. We'll have to accept their demands, even though that loses some of that reform progress here. Having this whole Adriatic coast for us, it'll be good for the naval force limit, which is part of the Croatian traditions, that we would start investing in a navy. And dominate the Ragusa trade node as well. Of course, that means we have to kick Venice out of here. And maybe one day expand into Venice itself. Thought of it because of the development is better than anywhere in the northwestern Balkans. Genoa's gotta be out. It's gotta be down and out. Hope you're not war exhausted, because I'm gonna need you to beat up Serbia while we'll take Herzegovina and I build up strength one more time, and we need the Ottomans to fight off Venice, which is our biggest threat. Right. It is done. Navy size is a bit even. But of course, when you declare war against Venice, you're also dealing with the Knights and Genoa again. Which Genoa and Venice shouldn't really be allies, honestly, when you think of it historically. But do not underestimate the Knights, as manpower is what it is. But again, declaring a future conflict against Venice would definitely put them at odds. And plus, they would be joining them anyway, but the Ottomans will be there. If you want to do that right now, and just have Herzegovina for later, but I already made up my mind. I was going to take Herzegovina, so Bosnia will be an accepted culture, so they don't be separatists anymore. All province religion is Catholic. Well, that's going to be a problem. Because, you know, we can't convert them. Although we can, but it's going to take a very long time to convert, you know, all this. If you need more missionary strength, you wait for events. Have a little more religious unity. Or figure out the tolerance of heretics and development and such. But nonetheless, I don't know if them being an accepted culture would also help it. But you get the idea. Oh, Poland got some of that. What are you gonna do? So we consider him an old rival. Now Venice is a real big enemy. Yes, I understand. But still. Just for future reference. Genoa is out. One piece of territory is given to the Ottomans, the other to Crimea. Reparations. We get 11 ducats out of this. That's plenty of aggressive expansion for them. So now they have a presence up there. That'll sure show them. No longer allied with Venice is Genoa. It's good to know. Hi. Scare him away. Just end the war already. Saluzzo, which is over there. Oh, you're about to deal with them too. Okay, good. So it is about to be over. It's over. Empress will renounce their claims. So, give the Ottomans. Wait a minute. Renounce claims you made Epirus still in existence. So you didn't take the territory. I mean, to be fair, they've been fighting for quite a while. Get back to drilling. Now just wait a year or two, then we'll deal with Herzegovina and bring the arms to Serbia and all that. No ducats for us? Now they owe us 10 favors. Thank you. Now, here's the deal. Trade favors for some trust. Using that out of you. And yes, you'll be there for us, but for Herzegovina? Not yet, and also you're a bit war exhausted, but I can tell you to prepare for war at any time. With Ragusa gone, no doubt that Venice controls the most of that trade power, whereas we're trying to catch up a little, but if we can take this whole coast here, at the most. I doubt we would be catching up on their trade power, but if we could protect trade power, have more light ships and all that, then we would make quite a bit of profit from this said trade. But remember, take Herzegovina out, pacify Serbia a little. But it would be of the utmost importance to stop Venice from threatening Croatia, because they have the manpower, they have the soldiery and the navy. They're a powerful force. And it's doubtful that Florence would be a good counterbalance to fight off against in the Italian issue. And we had our chance to improve relations with Austria, knowing that aggressive expansion that what we're about to get into. Unless you want to send them a gift, or let me see. No, it's not about opinion. Request share maps. You know, maps of areas that we already know. Oh, that costs prestige. No, I was just looking. Never mind. Create a subject from one of my provinces. I didn't know that's even an option. I never saw that till now. Just let me look real quick. Create your own vassals. That could ease the burden, actually. You know, like how Bohemia has these two as vassals. Maybe that's another way to join HR. Just... like, I doubt having Bosnia as a vassal would be a good idea. But I could see it with either Serbia or even Montenegro. When we take Zeta and Qatar, also known as Qatar. I could see that happening. Just to make us look less of aggressive expansionists in the eyes of the HRE. And the HRE would be more happy if we were to drop that alliance with the Ottomans right now, so we can join them, but no. No. Too happy with them. One more for Zeta. Then stops building the spy network. We got what we wanted. Got 42 favors. Now you consider Ottomans' arrival, but you're not boarded them yet. Venice and Dalmatia. The Ottomans will join, but Poland does not have the manpower and they are in debt. But if we tell them to prepare for war, they'll join. Papal states. You've allied with Venice. How dare you? Well, remember, Herzegovina first. But in the meantime, I think should go back currying favors with, you know, since we have a struggle in recovery of manpower, hey, do you mind? In exchange of 6 months supply. Aha. Yes, I know you have low manpower, but I'm sure with that size of that country of yours, you'll recover better than I. And it's only for 6 months. What are you worrying about? Money's not the problem. I mean, I'm sure you're rich. 6 months income, 36 is another. I mean, we'll be starting to make money again after we root out the corruption and such. But we are most anxious to start the war with Herzegovina immediately, so trade favors for some soldiers. 6 months supply. Got it? Good. Start currying favors with them again. After this. It's not much, but it'll do. Just hang on. We'll soon start asking the Ottomans to prepare for a war of what we're about to get into. They can defeat Serbia with ease. Transfer trade power from Ottomans. I don't like the sound of that, but 10% of our trade power and all of our shared trade notes to them. You know, that's not going to give us any money. Are you aware of this? What? Don't want to say no to it, but just check what happens. If it's banding up your coffers. Does that increase their opinion just for doing that? Yeah, getting trade power. That's +2. So, what about us? Oh, just 1% difference. That doesn't even matter at all. They're at it again. Oh, never knew that. Either with the trading policies. See, I still learn from this game. What are we doing? We've rooted out the corruption, so now we'll start making a little bit more. Just 7 years. 4 more years till the air's all grown up. You know, it's kind of funny with the drilling animation based on its current position. It just feels like we're stabbing this guy in the back. I think it would be wise to curry favors of Poland as well, because we haven't used from it at all, but the telling to prepare for war would be nice, which will be, you know, against Venice, because we need all the help we can get. At least the infantry part. I mean, they have no navy. Danzig, the vassal, they have some ships, but not enough. Came back from a long way, huh? Fighting another war. What war? Trebizond. Oh, you're intervening on this conflict. Oh, no worries. We're just gonna keep drilling our army until we are good and ready. Now they deal with Herzegovina and those Serbian separatists as well. Again, we had our chance to join HRE, but now we'll never get it. Honestly. Oh yeah, we're behind the time, but till next year. While drilling this army, which oddly it's called Second Army, not the First Army. Well, we did a lot of scrambling all day. So, shock skill increased. Very well. Not a 2-star general, but hey, every little bit helps. Oh, excuse me. I didn't know. I forgot about that damned religious unity thing. Because of the orthodoxy here. I think we will have to go for humanist ideas instead of, you know. That's until we're 7 in administrative tech. Well, whenever you're all done. And whenever Poland is ready until... What's going on over there? You spending more on regiments? Yes, you are. Mm-hmm. And we have the manpower to wage war right now, but not without the Ottomans. Plus, based on their positioning, it's going to be quite interesting. As I said, just take Herzegovina and dismantle Venice. At least take the Dalmatian parts. Now we can build all of these, and it's going to be a long time before we get to Renaissance start. Speaking of which, it's all present here that we embrace the Renaissance. Well, not quite, but it's getting mostly there. Reducing the cost of development, which, if we wish... Oh yeah, very much so. You know what would happen if I did indeed join the HRE? I would spend most of the time trying to build tall, developing all the areas, bit by bit, while researching some tech from all these things. But we have to get these first. You done? It's been going on for a long time. Just take the damn objective. Venice is causing trouble. Now I have a fire skill. Those are the benefits of drilling an army. And it's false they may prove them skills themselves. But that Herzegovina in general is a bit of improvement compared to mine. Well, we have the larger army. Don't. But it would seem that Venice is hell-bent on possibly declaring war against us. Don't worry about it. Worry about Herzegovina. There, they got it. Their war is over. Alright. We understand your war exhausted, but we're about to ask you a favor very soon. Sometime during the next year. Not much, but still formidable. Even though we did piss off the papacy. And they got a lot of cardinals from Venice. Wait a minute. infertile. Never mind. Okay, now they're back to drilling. Remember, you got until 1477. It's not going until next year. But it's gonna help with that bit of prestige when we fight against this. Just a short war and bring victories. But again, all these claims fabricated. We've got until 2 decades, so you're gonna be fine. We'll finish off Serbia one day. But this is how it's gonna be in that order. Herzegovina, Dalmatia, Serbia. All in that order. So, it's settled then. We will take Herzegovina. Even though they have the manpower to create about as much as it can to defeat us. But not so fast for Herzegovina. But we'll do what we can to... Just thinking. And plus, deal with Serbian separatists again. After we deal with Herzegovina. And pacify Serbia a bit when we bring in the Ottomans en masse. So, prepare for war. It's the first thing we'll ask from them. Stop drilling. You've done well. Now just gotta wait for the morale to be up. Scandal at the court again. What is the matter with him? You know what that means? Now they've stopped drilling. Okay, now they went back to it. Wait a couple more. It's at the max. Yeah, let's take him in. Because, you know, we don't like Hungary that much. So, yeah, one innovativeness helps a bit. Now we don't think of the other countries that much. That's what this is for. It's the power costs what counts. And of course after this we'll finally get these new units. Which will be a bit of an improvement. They'll be coming in, which will devastate them. Also in future, when we fight against Poland, excuse me, Venice. It's just Poland doesn't have the manpower, but we can ask them to prepare for war as well. And of course that means it'll be Poland and their vassals like Moldova, Danzig, and Lithuania too. They'll be the difference maker in a future conflict against Venice, which will no doubt happen in the next episode. But on this one, Herzegovina, you're next. And that's the objective. Here. Come on in. And it's gonna take a while for them to be on their way. And we're not gonna take any territory from Serbia, despite the fact that we have claims to there. But they won't expire until next 20 years, so we got plenty of time to work on that. It's just Serbia has to be pacified first. After we deal with Herzegovina. So we attack en masse, and we'll deal with them, then take care of Serbia for a bit before the Ottomans will come in and take care of the rest, and then we have Herzegovina. Take a river crossing penalty and fighting up in this high terrain, but our mostly drilled army will do most of the work. And they're killing us. As we know, when we die, God judges immediately and decides soul's fate until it waits the last judgment. However, a monk started a doctrinal dispute that verges on the edge of heresy, claiming that there is no purgatory and saying that prayers for the dead do not assist their passage into heaven. These disputes are threatening the very unity of our church. He is probably a heretic. Yeah, they put up a fight, but we could have been taking more casualties had we not drilled them. But they survived only because of the highlands. Don't worry, they're on their way, so do what you must. Unless you want to go chase them down. Again, what's the difference? Last attackers 2, and plus we took that river crossing. And Visoki. You have to enter through Kolubara in order to get to there, but don't worry, they got it all taken care of. Send 1,000. Over here. They'll get it taken care of. All is going according to plan. Our superbly drilled army is, in the opinion of our most influential generals, invincible. Any recent setbacks are down to weather or the enemies using such unmanly things such as tactics. As far as our general is concerned, there is no way to improve on perfection. Damn it! But we gotta convince ourselves that we are invincible. I can't afford an unstable kingdom. Come in. And it's pretty kind of you that says it's occupied by Croatia instead of Ottomans. Let me look at it real quick. I would tremble if the next pope is of a Venetian origin. Anyways, continue on to siege. Cottage industry. Economic development is not always about conflict. It seems rich merchants in some of our burgher-dominated cities have been attempting to bypass various guild privileges by outsourcing work to the homes of the families living outside the city. The fact that this putting out system has been a very profitable strategy only further inflames the anger of the artisans in the city, who feel their ancient rights being trampled and that carefully managed prices of their products will suffer. The Croatian houses now turn to the Kraj to defend their privileges, as the city council has been unable to root out the competition from outside the city. You want more than the rest of Belgrade? Don't you know there's Serbian separatists? or go for this route, which adds more loyalty and influence, and reduce unrest in Belgrade, but adds tax modifier every 10 years. As much as I would like to have more development, and you know, Rijeka and Belgrade, we must safeguard the guild privileges. That's what I decided on. Reduced unrest can only just slow them down a bit. I would love to develop some areas more, but it's gonna have to wait. We've taken Herzegovina. Move up quickly. Take Kolubara. So they won't create another unit around here. Even though we took a bit of knock, but hey, quick war. But if I wanted to, I could take all of these areas that I have claims to along with Herzegovina, but would that be too much aggressive expansion to the point where they might form a coalition against me? I could see Venice being threatened by me for this. See? I told you this would work out. Meanwhile, let's take care of this a little bit. Slow him down. Intricate web weaver. That's for our heir. The future cry for more spinal construction, which again, they've been making a bunch of claims against us and I don't like that. Just finish your siege and then we'll get Serbia pieced out. What's the land force limit now? Since we have such good manpower. There's room for 2. Okay. I'm just gonna white piece of Serbia, but if I even wanted... Okay, hang on. If I were to take all the areas that I have claims to, they would form a coalition. Serbia would do that, so... No, don't do that. Gotta make a separate peace deal. We want no territories with Serbia. Not yet. We'll just have to wait till... So again, white peace, so... Reparations for 1. Because, you know, we need some sort of revenue. 475. And still... We could humiliate our rival, that's another thing. Which is just for, you know, power projection. Which you... With power projection, that means all this will go on. 79. And about much money as you can. 1481. Okay, that's good. Plus, you know, some of that money is going to be distributed. I'll get 27 out of that. Because, you know, we still want to build that church. Of course, the inflation would increase no matter what, so... There you go. We're not going to take your land. Yet. When that truce expires, you're next. So yes, we humiliated our rival for that, but now Herzegovina, 4 days later. Territories that we have claims to, and all the money. That is all. 120. It's enough. Are we gonna have Bosnian or Herzegovinian separatists this time? We only took minimal casualties, which we should move up that timetable a little on the future war against Venice. But that's only if we could get Poland over here. You got it. Yeah, one part that's overextension, but Herzegovina is Orthodox. This is not. Bosnian and Herzegovinian separatists separately. But this does not complete the mission because I failed to realize that they all have to be Catholic. And that's problematic. And the humanist ideas I mentioned before. It's not only more religious unity. Tolerance of heretics is another. There's separatism, all the privileges, tolerance of heathens, yeah. But also, administrative ideas is another good one to have, as we have a habit of expanding. Religious ideas would be useful if I was fighting against the Ottomans a lot, with the idea of holy wars. But for now. Both part of the state of Bosnia. Till we fully core it, then we got it. Now, how did the Ottomans feel? Yeah, you're still ready. Cruel. Oh, you've become cruel. Well, try not to have Serbian or Bulgarian, Greek separatists, any kind. You're going to be dealing with that a lot because of you. Wow, the amazing Mehmed and soon Mehmed III will be the not so good, as far as skills is concerned. But not enough money. But hey, with that power projection up, because we humiliated Serbia, so that'll help with the legitimacy. And whereas this one takes an eternity and a half. As said before, there's your problem. And we got no active cardinals. Which we wish. But there are other ways, you know. Just look around. But there are other ways too, such as, you know, missionary strength. But of course, that wouldn't do well within the orthodoxy here. Oh, I forgot a long time ago about trade goods. Herzegovina and Dalmatia. This home of wool. I see. Boy, it would be nice to have these. Well, I basically get the idea. Now, going to war against Venice would require Poland to come in. They don't have the manpower right now. Which is reasonable, but listen. You got Danzig with you. You've got Moldavia with you. Lithuania even. What are you worried about? You're a powerful country. In fact, one of the great powers. And we're nowhere near being one of the best. You have all these things. And we do very much trust each other. That's a good thing. The real issue about fighting against this war against Venice is the naval front. That's going to be a real issue. So that would test the Ottomans on their naval capabilities. Whereas we lack of it, but we could have more ships, but we can't afford the cost of the maintenance of the said fleet. Having this coast alone would be a great boon because of development reasons. I mean, not so much of a Zadar. Split here is 9. Ragusa is the best. And having this too would be beneficial. Not sure about that one because that's out of my boundaries. But there is this other part of the mission. It's like, yeah, reconquer Dalmatia, that's one. And then Ragusa is another, but also you've got to be the strongest trade power here. And then once you're done with that, get these Italians out of the Balkans. And that means all provinces. ALL. They even tell us to take this as well, but you would be at risk of fighting against Austria and the Holy Roman Empire. You see what's going to happen if you try that, even bringing the Ottomans? They would overwhelm it. And Poland would support it too. Never going to happen. Well, one would think, it's like, yeah, we're ready for war, but we're about as ready as putting down these separatists. Don't go to war until you deal with the separatists first. And get some money. Conqueror and cruel. So they 6 months income, that's 35. Because, you know, don't want this to expire. Otherwise there'll be unrest in Zagreb. And the clergy loyalty will be by then disloyal. Yeah. Just looking at the nobility loyalty. No, excuse me, burgher loyalty. It's 33. But if I do revoke it now, The other button. I mean, we need some of that national tax modifier up a bit. I'll think about it in the next episode, but for now, wait for these, because we're about to get those. Oof. Who will Serbia turn to for their ally? Ha! Don't make me laugh. They don't have anything on Serbia. They could be friends, naturally. Ferrara is and Albania is fighting against Serbia. And they're gonna bring the Knights in. Are they part of it? No. Just Albania and Albania alone. Well, they don't have Skanderbeg with them. But keep in mind, attacking Albania means you would be at war with Venice anyhow. Sometimes we question about the things that we do. And I'm not going to go to that next war with Venice without this new set. Eastern Militia. With them in the middle of a war. How big is it? Ferrara and Naples. This is Ferrara. Naples is a bit sizable, but it's not enough to deal with Venice. It's just Venice alone. Papacy did not intervene. Just fine. If Albania takes more land than they bargained for, then we're gonna have issues. Why didn't you mop all the forts? You should be breaking more. Here it is. Quickly. Now combat whips increased. Infantry and cavalry shock up. Very good. Now compare that with the Eastern medieval infantry. This here will get the best of both. Offensive defense shock along with defensive morale and defensive morale. So there you have it. Well, the morale has to pick up again as we replace this new unit. Quest aid. Guess we ought to give it to them. Very, very reluctant about giving money. As long as it doesn't affect the stability. Again, this navy of ours can no way can stand against the Venetian navy. We only have to rely on the Ottoman navy and whoever else that could stand up against them. The Pope has just announced that one of our ruler's most esteemed and revered ancestors was actually a saint. This is a cause for a great celebration. Damn. Well, there you go. That'll slow down the unrest here. But just wait till we fully core them. What you doing? Not at war. Can't wait to get you on board with this. Just wait. One thing's for certain in the next conflict. If we can't beat him at sea, we could sure as hell beat him on land. When much of the devastation is lower than the autonomy, then all the underdeveloped lands of Bosnia and Herzegovina will be somewhat beneficial. But ultimately, it should be Zara, Spalato, and Ragusa, which should fabricate a claim on Ragusa. Although, yeah, we should consider that. Send a spy network. One way to prepare for an upcoming conflict. And we need 20. Fabricate a claim on Ragusa, so in this upcoming conflict we'll get all 3. Possibly 4 with this one. You know what, just let the rebellion happen. We'll have it dealt with. Oh dear. Oh, these bastards. They've really pillaged them. We don't know how much of Serbia is going to be left once, you know, this thing is over. understandable. But I think taking all of the coast, which will happen in the next episode, I think we're just going to be so far away from any possibility of joining the HRE, as long as we're allied with the Ottomans. And subsequently, as we build our spy network to try to fabricate a claim on Ragusa. And all that. But anyways, this would definitely help for that mission line. Get a lot of prestige out of this. And then you take this area, but you need to be a strong trade power, which is takes a long time to work on unless you eliminate Venice from the map. Hope you're not busy with anything. Who knows when will it happen? But one thing is for certain, things are gonna get nasty. Even though Poland looks like they're positioned to threaten a war against the Teutonic Order, but no, they're in truce. Well, we gotta bring them over here. We've got all this, so as we said, I don't think we'll be able to defeat them at sea, but sure as hell we can defeat them on land. We take the coast, and then take it to Venice itself with the help of the Polish and their vassals, and the Ottomans. I think allying and having become well-trusted friends between Croatia and Alps was the best thing to have ever happened in this playthrough. At least in the long run, but our so-called aggressive expansion isn't over yet, because we plan on taking 3, possibly 4 provinces against Venice in the next episode coming up next in coming days. So we hope you people enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. But until then, so long for now.